Episode 2. How about why did Flight 19 disappear? December 5th, 1945. 5 military aircraft leave Florida for a routine training mission. They are experienced aviators. They know the route. The weather is manageable. Then somewhere over the Atlantic, the pilots begin asking each other a terrifying question. Where are we? Minutes later, they are gone. No aircraft, no bodies, no confirmed wreckage. So, how did 5 planes disappear together? Flight 19 wasn't supposed to be dangerous. It was a routine navigation exercise conducted by the US Navy from Fort Lauderdale. 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers, 14 men. Their instructor, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, was an experienced naval aviator with more than 2,500 hours of flight time. The mission was simple. Fly east, conducted practice bombing, turn north, then head back to Florida. A few hours later, none of them would return. And what makes the story extraordinary isn't just that they disappeared. It's what their radio transmissions revealed before they vanished. Chapter 1. Something is wrong. The mission began shortly after 2 p.m. The first part went normally. The pilots completed their bombing exercise. Then, something changed. Radio communications began indicating that the flight was having navigation problems. The pilots weren't certain where they were. One transmission became especially disturbing. "We can't tell where we are." The flight leader believed they might be somewhere northeast of their base. But there was a problem. If his position estimate was wrong, every decision that followed could take them farther from home. And the farther they flew, the more precious one resource became: fuel. The Navy's later records indicate that confusion and navigation problems likely played a major role in what happened. But why couldn't experienced pilots simply turn around? Because over the ocean, knowing which way home lies isn't always as simple as it sounds. Imagine being thousands of meters above the Atlantic. Look down, water. Look ahead, water. Turn left, water. Turn right, still water. There are almost no landmarks. And in 1945, navigation depended heavily on instruments, maps, radio communication, and the pilot's ability to interpret them correctly. The situation became more complicated as the weather changed. Radio messages suggested increasing uncertainty. The pilots discussed their compass readings and their position. At one point, the flight was believed to be heading toward the Bahamas, but whether they actually knew where they were was becoming increasingly uncertain. The official Navy history later described the likely scenario as disorientation, followed by fuel exhaustion and a possible ditching at sea as weather deteriorated. But there was still a huge problem. If 5 aircraft had gone down, where was the wreckage? The Navy immediately began looking. Aircraft searched, ships searched, Coast Guard crews joined. The search eventually covered more than 250,000 square miles of ocean and surrounding areas. But nothing appeared. No confirmed wreckage, no life rafts, no bodies, not even an oil slick. And then, something even stranger happened. A rescue aircraft was sent to search for Flight 19. It was a Martin PBM Mariner flying boat. 13 men were aboard. It took off that evening. After a brief radio communication, silence. The rescue aircraft disappeared too. Now, 6 aircraft were missing. 27 men were gone. And the mystery became something much larger. The rescue aircraft is sometimes presented as another unexplained Bermuda Triangle event, but the evidence tells a more complicated story. The Navy's historical analysis says the mariner probably suffered an in-flight fire. The aircraft type was known to have a dangerous vulnerability involving gasoline vapor accumulating in its bilges. A nearly ship reported seeing what appeared to be an aircraft exploding or burning in the sky. So the disappearance of the rescue aircraft may have had a very different explanation from Flight 19. Two mysteries, one night, but only one of them became the heart of the Bermuda Triangle legend. And even today, the exact fate of the 5 Avengers remains unknown. Here's the part often left out of the story. The US Navy never concluded that Flight 19 was swallowed by some mysterious force. The official investigation couldn't determine exactly what happened. Later Navy analysis suggested compass and navigation problems likely led to disorientation, eventually leaving the aircraft vulnerable to fuel exhaustion and a forced landing at sea. But that is not the same as saying the case has been completely solved. We don't know the precise final moments. We don't know exactly where the aircraft went down. And without wreckage, we can't reconstruct the entire sequence with certainty. That's what makes Flight 19 so compelling. Not because we have evidence of something supernatural, but because we have just enough evidence to understand the danger and not enough to know the ending. 5 aircraft entered the sky that afternoon. 14 men never came home. The ocean kept whatever happened beneath its surface, and decades later, the story became something bigger than a military accident. It became the defining mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. But Flight 19 raises an even more unsettling question. If aircraft can disappear over the ocean, what happens when the thing that disappears is a ship? Because unlike an aircraft, a ship can vanish into thousands of meters of water, and the ocean can move the evidence, break it apart, or bury it. So, can the ocean really swallow a ship without a trace? Next on How About How? How about can the ocean really swallow a ship without a trace?